Thank you for keeping it your home of Untold Stories TV 47. This is News Now and it starts right now, and my name is Grace Kuria Kanja. Now, Azimio Raila Odinga leaders have declared their support for the National Dialogue meeting, saying that the talks are healthy and people-centered. The leaders, who held a meeting with all Azimio governors in Mombasa, slammed the national government for interfering with functions of the devolved units. Now, the leaders led by Raila Odinga are now proposing the allocation of resources be increased from the current 15% to 35%.
2010 Constitution provided a platform from which Kenyans can directly benefit from the national cake through devolution. The objective of our meeting is to ensure that county governments under Azimio Raila Odinga One Kenya coalition work effectively to the satisfaction of the people. After all, a good leader is measured not by the words he or she says, but by what they do to change the lives of the people who put them into office. The meeting took stock of ups and downs of devolution for the past 1 year after the August 9th, 2022 general election, and particularly the challenges county governments face in the delivery of services to the electorate. Governors and deputy governors present made presentations about financial challenges and bottlenecks they encounter as they discharge their constitutional duties. The biggest problem in the country today is the high cost of living, over-taxation, increase in fuel prices, and unemployment. It is worth noting that the financial problem the country is facing has led to the stagnation of the projects in the counties due to the delayed reimbursement of money by the national government. Attempts by the national government to take over some of the functions of the county governments is another major problem. Whereas county governors are trying hard to discharge their duties as prescribed in the 2010 Constitution, the national government is, on the other hand, trying much harder to pull down their legs and suppress them. It is worth noting that devolution is the best thing that ever happened to the people.
Right, and 2 people have died while 5 others have sustained injuries following a road accident in Timboroa area along the Nakuru-Eldoret Highway. Confirming the incident, Koibatek Sub-County Commander Joseph Ongaya says 2 people died on the spot in the Baringo-Uasin Gishu border accident. Now, residents want the government to erect speed bumps in the area to prevent further loss of lives. The bodies of the deceased have been moved to the Elder Maravine Hospital mortuary, while the injured continue to receive treatment at the Eldoret Referral Hospital.
Laini ni tatu. Sasa mimi niko laini yangu ya mwisho, yeye ndo akatoka upande wa kwake akanifuata mimi. Na amenigongea kuanzia nyuma huko kwa tanki ya mafuta ya trailer. Hakunigusia mbele. Hasa sikujua mwelekeo wake ni vipi. Kwa dereva mwenzangu alikuwa ni machofu ni mingi ama ni vipi, sikumuelewa.
Mamisha tu magari ili wapate usaidizi. Sasa na tunaomba watu ya Kenya watuwekee ma signboards. Kwa sababu hapa ni mahali pengine pabaya sana.
Tunaomba serikali tuwekee pumps hapa, iongeze juu imeanza ionekane hizo masigns, ndio madereva wakijaribu kuinua kona waweze kuiona.
May the souls of the departed rest in peace. To matters bipartisan talks now, and 3 Kenyans, Issa Elanyi Chamao, Patrick Karani Ekirapa, and Paul Ngweyo Kirui, have moved to court on a certificate of urgency to stop the National Dialogue Committee from conducting the ongoing bipartisan talks between Azimio Raila Odinga and Kenya Kwanza. Now, the 3 have challenged the legality and constitutionality of the committee, whose formation they say contravenes various provisions of the Constitution. They have also listed other reasons, including the use of significant public funds for a process they say is not supported by the Constitution, legislation, or the standing orders of Parliament. Now, the team that has since commenced public hearings, led by National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah and Wiper Leader Kalonzo Musyoka, earlier resolved that the 2/3 gender role, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Secretariat, and IEBC selection panel agenda issues will be part of the discussions during the hearings. And moving on now, the spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, has challenged the youth to embrace technical and vocational training institutions. Speaking at Giathugu Vocational Training Center in Mukurweini, Nyeri County, during the launch of the Tujiajiri program, a vocational training scholarship, Pastor Dorcas said it is time for the country to change the way of doing things and encourage the youth who don't qualify for university education to embrace vocational training instead of condemning them for the dismal performance in national exams. According to Pastor Dorcas, vocational training orients the youth and brings them to a position where they can be economically empowered. Her sentiments were echoed by Nyeri Deputy Governor David Kinanire and Mukurweini MP John Kagusha.
Basi kipindi kinachofuata.
One thing that we know is that the future belongs to the young people, and they start now, so that they start to lead their lives with a dream and a vision. And what the TVETs or the vocational training is doing is being able to orientate the youth and to bring them to a place where they can be able to become economically empowered, and they become people who can be self-employed. And therefore, the courses that they are going to be learning from these are courses that are going to make them employable. For the longest now, we have been talking about white-collar jobs, we've been talking about office, and everyone who goes to school with the name of ever getting that white-collar job. But we know, as we know now, that we need to change the way we do things. We need to look at a way of growing our economy and making sure the youth are not unemployed and getting frustrated. Therefore, this TVET or polytechnics and vocational training for our youth is the future, which will be able to expand their job market. That is why we are here.
And the head of public service, Felix Koskei, has acknowledged that there are a few individuals within the police service who have continued to taint the image of the police service because of corruption. He said the corrosive corruption has had a lot of negative impact on development in the country. Now, the head of public service spoke today when he chaired a consultative meeting of top police chiefs from across the country. The forum, dubbed Zero Tolerance to Corruption, was being convened to draft far-reaching measures to end the vice both in the government and within the National Police Service.
And anything negative, ladies and gentlemen, is always blown out of proportion. They catch headlines, people talk about negative things. People don't talk about good things that you do. And therefore, the dread and fear always trends, while the good job that you do always 95% is not seen anywhere. So it is on account of these rotten fruits that His Excellency the President has directed me, and so I am directed to meet you today for an open, candid, and solution-oriented conversation on a matter that is causing him great concern. A matter that touches on some of you, of your, or some of the character of some few of you, and mostly the moral character, because what happens is that whatever these few elements do, it is not about their training, it is not about their upbringing, but it's a moral character that they have lost direction somewhere. And this sometimes is evident as an individual or as collective, depending on how you approach the scene, and which dictates that we close ranks to jointly fight or find lasting solutions. What I'm trying to say is that, you see, when one or two people mess up, as I said, it trends and it makes the entire situation to look like the entire police service is rotten. And therefore, we need to sit, and that is why I'm opening a conversation today, to sit and discuss, close ranks, and then we jointly find lasting solutions. I'm saying this because His Excellency the President is determined to ensure that his government is a functioning government, his government is devoid of corruption. He wants to see a government that is respected, a government that is responsive to the needs and the requirements of the people of Kenya and those who are visiting Kenya. So he wants a police service that will be part or contribute to the government to be efficient, effective, a police service that will have a character and form, a police service that will have a tradition.
All right, so we take a very, very short commercial break here on News Now. Stay with us. Right, thank you so much for staying with us. Now, parents, teachers, and various stakeholders have been urged to work in unison and protect children from harmful online content. According to UNICEF, over 60% of children are victims of online child exploitation. Speaking during a forum on online child and youth safety in Nairobi, representatives from UNICEF, the Nairobi County Government, and the Ministry of Youth Affairs have raised concerns over the increasing number of children consuming explicit content.
Kenya has achieved an impressive internet penetration of 87.2%, with approximately 46.8 million mobile data users and 7 million Facebook users. This is according to the Communications Authority of Kenya. 2019 Internet World Status Report for 2020. The internet has had a profound impact on humanity, especially on children, as it allows them to access education, justice, birth registration, and various other safety services safely. The internet access has transformed the way we care for and protect our children and our youth. However, a significant portion of our population lacks comprehensive media and internet literacy. I think that's a reality for us.
Because even you as an adult, you really feel hurt. It may not even be directly on you, but when you just look at some tweets, you expect a tweet that people who are doing that have some professionalism. And you see somebody abusing a very senior government official on Twitter. I don't know. I really don't know. And I want to challenge our youth here. That rights have what? Responsibilities. They come with responsibilities.
So we have the National Child Helpline, which is a 116, the number is 116. It's a platform that all children can get access to. They can get the advice that they need with regards to any matter children.
Right, and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi now says that the government is keen on finding a solution to the rising refugee challenge. Speaking during the launch of Barack Muluka's book titled Home and Exile, the Prime CS said he will pitch Kenya's effort to resolve the refugee challenge during the 74th session of the Executive Committee of the High Commissioners Program to be held in Geneva, Switzerland. The focus of the book is forced migrations and South Sudanese refugees in Kenya's Kakuma refugee camp.
The 74th session of the Executive Committee of the High Commissioners Program is scheduled to be held in Geneva, Switzerland in the coming few weeks. I will be making a keynote speech at an event themed Camps to Settlements, Socioeconomic Hubs for Integrated Refugee Inclusion in Kenya. In Geneva, I intend to pitch Kenya as a frontrunner in providing solutions to the rising refugee problem. I am, in this regard, pleased to inform you that through the Shirika Plan, Kenya is pioneering innovative approaches for the refugee management. As has been hinted at by Madam Caroline, the Shirika Plan aims at transforming the refugee camps into integrated settlements, supporting the socio-economic inclusion of refugees and host communities in Garissa, Turkana, and urban areas. I will save the details of the Shirika Plan for Geneva in a fortnight. And I am happy that the Commissioner is also here because they have played a pivotal role in this journey as well.
And the Estate Agents Registration Board, which regulates real estate agents in the country, has opposed a bill that seeks to regulate the agents. The Real Estate Regulation Bill 2023, sponsored by Trans Nzoia Senator Alan Chesang, was gazetted on September 11, 2023, and aims to regulate real estate agents, developers of properties for sale purposes, and land buying companies that subdivide land for sale. The proposed law seeks to cut out fraudsters in the real estate sector who have caused suffering to land and house buyers. Under the regulation, the real estate agents will be stopped from facilitating the sale of any parcel of land, apartment, or building in a real estate project which is not registered in accordance with the Act. But according to the Estates Agents Registration Board, the bill should be redrafted to regulate only land buying companies and property developers and not agents, since they are already regulated under the Estate Agents Act Cap 533.
Since the bill was published in the Kenya Gazette on the 11th of September 2023, the board has received a lot of concerns from our members. It is imperative to note that despite there being a functional estate agents board, there was no prior attempt to engage the board during the preparation of the bill, either directly or through the line Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing, Urban Development. The bill, therefore, came as a surprise to the board and the registered estate agents.
We have come up with categorization rules that are currently undergoing public participation, where we'll be in a position to incorporate a lot of Kenyans that are involved in real estate agents at various categories. And this will mean that the board will be in a position
To Kericho County now, and Kaminjawet residents in Bureti constituency are now blaming the Kenya Power and Lighting Company for failing to restructure electric posts, which allegedly led to the death of 2 children who were electrocuted a couple of months ago. The residents are living in fear, saying if the El Nino rains begin, more lives will be lost due to electrocution.
Hakika kweli katika hii eneo yetu pato tuko na hofu sana, kwa sababu hiyo mabosti ya stima tayari nyingi imeoza na kuna senye imekatika hata chini, kuna yenye karibu ianguke. Na hiyo tumejaribu kurusha kuomba msaada kwa viongozi wa Kenya Power, lakini hatujapata msaada wowote. Hakika hata hii wakati kabla watoto apatikane na hiyo machanga ya moto, tayari watu wa Kenya Power walikuwa washakuja na wakaangalia hiyo mawaya na kawacha waya ikiwa imetambaa, imeninginika. Kama wangetoa hizo mawaya na kufunga mzuri, hatungefikia mahali yenye hao watoto wamepikia sasa.
Walikuja siku moja wakati watoto walipoumia, wakachukua mapicha, wakatoa mawaya na wakasema tutarudi. Mpaka saa hii hatujaona. So tunalilia nchi yetu ya Kenya, viongozi waingilie kati na atasame mamiti chenye karibu waanguke. Zingine waya zinakatika ovyo ovyo na hatujui hii waya zinatoka wapi, hatupati hata faida kwa hii waya.